The following segments are pre-recorded and sponsored by Longworth Productions.
A salute to United Fund of Surrey on Triad Today. Hello everyone, I'm Jim Longworth and welcome to a special edition of Triad Today, coming to you once again from the beautiful Senior Botanical Garden in Kernersville. I say special because for the next half hour, we're going to salute and recognize the good folk from so many wonderful agencies that do so many wonderful things for people throughout the region, thanks to support from United Fund of Surrey. And since I just mentioned that, it's only appropriate that we go to my good friend Melissa Hyatt, who's Executive Director of United Fund of Surrey, the agency that helps support so many of these other agencies that give direct help to people. How you doing?
Doing good, Jim. Thanks for having us today.
For folks that maybe haven't seen us together like this, let's just remind them what the mission of United Fund of Surrey is and what areas you serve.
We serve the entire county of Surrey, and our mission is to provide services needed that meet the needs of our neighbors.
You know, it's as we tape this in summertime, we think about vacation. We think about people taking time off, taking time away from the troubles that they have. But the thing is, I think you told me one time in a conversation that people in need and who have needs or who are in crisis or need your help, they're not taking time off, and some of those troubles continue, right?
That is true. Summer troubles continue, and some of the agencies you'll hear from today deal with those summertime issues.
Now, you recently, of course, I think folks just know, or I want them to know, that you rely on donations and campaigns to keep things going, to support these agencies, and it takes money. Now, not so long ago, you recently concluded a capital campaign. Now, what was the goal of that, and how did you end up doing?
Our goal was $500,000, and we were very blessed to receive $531,000.
That's not bad. That's not bad. Now, you know, sometimes people hear about fundraisers or they hear about agencies that say, oh, we're going to raise such and such money. And they say, well, I wonder where that money goes to. You know, is it all in overhead, or is it getting to people that need the help? How would you react to that?
I'd react to that the majority, the money that's raised through donor dollars does get to the agencies. That's the reason that we hold fundraisers and grant writing, so that we can take that and pay for our operations, and your donations go directly to the citizens.
Now, when most folks know about United Fund of Surrey when they have a capital campaign going at work, and they can give through work or whatever, but individuals can give as well. Now, even though you and I talked about the fact that the campaign is over, can an individual, can a company gear up and do something even now or throughout the year, or do you have to work and only do it specific times? Do you take donations all the time?
We take donations all the time, but our new campaign will start August 1st, and those that do not do workplace campaigns will be receiving a mailer to be able to give individually.
Now, if I'm a business of any size and I haven't participated before and I want to, and I've heard you talking about it and say, hey, I heard Melissa say this, I want to do a campaign, a workplace campaign. Is it hard to do? Is it, because, you know, you can have a plant manager or somebody say, boy, I don't know if I've got time to coordinate this or whatever. Is it difficult to put on a workplace campaign? It's
very simple. It can actually happen during a lunch break or
really?
A team building activity. It only takes a few minutes to hold a workplace campaign.
Well, that's great. Now, I guess on a personal note, what gratification do you get out of being in your position, out of seeing where the money goes and all that? What do you get from it?
I've been in nonprofit for almost 30 years.
That's right.
And the relationships are the most gratifying, to be able to see families that you met by needed services and being able to see them in the community years later and see how the services that were provided changed their lives.
Because you see people in crisis, some of them right now, young people. We're going to talk about this throughout the show, you know, helping young people, helping all sorts of families. And then you see them later on. It must give you a lot of gratification. I appreciate all you're doing. And before I keep running my mouth here, I want to make sure we put up on screen UnitedFundOfSurrey.org. And you're going to see this appear throughout the half hour, even though we're talking to these various agencies. And I want to keep reminding folks, in case you want to make a donation, UnitedFundOfSurrey.org. Melissa, thanks for all you do.
Thank you.
All right, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Need help buying food? Everyone needs help sometimes. Food and nutrition services may be able to help you buy food and free up your money for other expenses, such as utilities and medicine. To receive F&S assistance, households must meet income limits. You may be able to get assistance even if you own a home, car, land, property, or have a retirement plan or money in the bank. Second Harvest Food Bank of Northwest North Carolina team members can help you with the application process over the phone. To receive help or if you have any questions, call 336-422-7758.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you that Triad Today is now streaming on WFMY Plus, available free on Roku and Amazon Fire TV. Back now on this special edition of Triad Today as we salute United Fund of Surrey and all the great agencies that are supported by United Fund of Surrey and the great work they all do to help so many of us. And our special guest right now is not a newcomer to Triad Today, and we welcome him back to the show, Dr. Glenn Goloszewski. We call him Dr. G. He's the Chief Medical Officer for Mountain Valley Hospice and Palliative Care. Welcome back, sir.
Jim, thanks for having me.
All right, let's talk about hospice and palliative care. What's the difference? What are they? And can people be serviced by both?
Yeah, that's a great question, and one we get quite a bit. Yeah, so the similarities are they're both kinds of care that focus on comfort as one of the priorities. So hospice in particular is a comprehensive medical benefit that is geared toward people that have a reasonable life expectancy of less than 6 months. So there's a qualification of life expectancy for hospice. For adult hospice, you also have to forego curative therapy in favor of palliative or comfort care.
So you're not doing surgery, you're not doing chemo.
At that point, you are not in adults anyway.
Right. So then how do you keep folks comfortable to make sure that there is a good quality of life where they can spend time with their loved ones or whatever? How do you pull that off?
Yeah, first of all is trying to identify what good quality of life means for them. What does a good death mean to them? What are they looking forward to? So a movie came out years ago called The Bucket List, and people have really embraced that term.
Oh, okay.
As far as trying to identify the things that I want to do in my limited time. So once we can view that through their particular individual goals of care, then we can put whatever into place, whether it be medicines for pain control or symptom management or assistance with personal care or some minor housework around the house or enlisting more care through volunteers for us or family help to make sure that the patient can get rest and give themselves permission to rest and focus on what's important to them in their time left.
Now, suppose I have an elderly parent or loved one that I feel needs hospice care. Mm-hmm. Does our family need a referral from another physician or a specialist, or do we just call you guys up?
Yeah, you can call Mountain Valley directly, whether you're interested in hospice or palliative care. So most of our patients do come from referrals from physicians or other practitioners or hospitals, but people can refer themselves and family members can refer too. So we have an intake department that will help them through the whole process and to see if they qualify for hospice and or palliative care.
There are a lot of hospice agencies, as you know, who are for-profit agencies.
Yeah.
Mountain Valley is not for-profit.
Yes.
Which means you don't turn anybody away. Why is that important?
That's important because, you know, in the time of equity, that's a huge thing. We want to be able to make sure that we can go to sleep at night knowing that we treated everybody the same and everybody got what they needed regardless of anything, including their ability to pay or not pay.
And springing off from that question and your response about nonprofit status and all the great things, of course, that means that Mountain Valley has to do fundraising and relies on donations and contributions. And that leads us to one of the things we're talking about in this half-hour special with United Fund of Surrey. Mm-hmm. How important is support from United Fund of Surrey to your mission?
Oh, it's critical. It's not just important. So United Fund is a total blessing for us. Without support from the community and places like United Fund, hospices, particularly nonprofit hospices, could not stay in existence. What we cover for the patients, it's a wonderful medical benefit, but what we cover could never be covered by what we get from Medicare and other insurances.
Right. Now, up on screen, before we lose time here, I want to make sure I mention this. The website, MTN Valley Hospice, of course, abbreviation for Mountain, mtnvalleyhospice.org, and I hope you'll check that out. It has a lot of great information And also the number 888 is 789-2922. And of course, you're always looking for volunteers, and that could be another thing, not just asking, can I have a consultation about hospice care, but can I volunteer? So you can find out about that. And also a shout out once again to the good folks at United Fund of Surrey, the website unitedfundofsurrey.org. Dr. G, thanks for all you do, sir.
Thank you, Jim. Appreciate you having me.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
My mother passed away on a Monday night. My dad and I were with her. What would have been a dreadful experience at home was a blessing at the Woltz Hospice Home in Dobson. Mama was safe and comfortable. So were we. We were even able to bring our dog Gracie for a visit. From their in-home care to their hospice homes to helping us after she was gone. The people at Mountain Valley Hospice made us better people and became family.
You know, it's hard to believe the Safe Sober program has been going strong for over 30 years.
And over 600,000 students have made the pledge to stay safe and sober on prom night. You know, Griff, it's had a huge impact on our community.
Yeah, you're right, David. And now we're making sure the message continues year-round.
So everyone can join us in supporting our students.
Learn more and take the pledge at safesober.com, sponsored by Daggett Schuler.
Back now on this special edition of Triad Today, as we salute and recognize the folks who make such a difference in this area in helping people, thanks to the support of United Fund of Surrey. And in this particular segment, we want to talk about young people in a different way, and we do that with two very special guests. Tamara Veit is Executive Director of Surrey Friends of Youth. Tammy Hopman is a Grants Administrator. Thanks for being here, girls.
Thank you.
Or ladies. My wife says you're not supposed to call ladies girls anymore, but I'm so old, everybody's a girl to me.
We'll take it. We work with kids. We'll take it.
You work with kids, so you know, I'm a kid at heart. Hey, Tamara, what is Surrey Friends of Youth all about, and what's your mission?
Well, that's a great question, because while our mission statement describes our current programming, just this past year, our board got together to develop a new vision statement. We had been looking much more closely at local youth data, comparing that data to state and national data, and we started seeing trends with what was going on with the kids in Surrey County. And we also started noticing large gaps in services with the kids in Surrey County that were needed to be filled. So officially, our board actually created a new vision statement, which is eyes on today, sights on tomorrow, advocating for the needs of youth.
Let's talk about those trends, and I want to get both of you to give me some feedback on that. Specifically, how common is substance abuse among young people in the area? We'll start with you.
Oh, well, SRO feedback, school resource officers, juvenile justice feedback are seeing great increases. And Tammy's pulled a lot of data on this information.
You're shaking your head yes, you agree with that, and how so? What's the problem? How bad is the problem?
It's a lot more common than we'd like to think, but I think one of the biggest things that we're seeing is the entrenchment. You know, this has been going on for several generations in this area, so that the kids now, they're growing up in the shadow of things like overdose. Plus they have easy access to drugs, and they also face the danger of the drug supply being poisoned at this
with the fentanyl
point in
problem.
time. Correct, that's exactly right. So among our clients, about 60% of them admit to using drugs. And at the same time, Surrey County is experiencing a significant increase in overdose and overdose mortality among young people.
And of course, Tamara, you were mentioning the gap in being able to serve and help folks, and you're trying to close that gap. So let's get to that. What kind of programs are you offering?
Well, now we've had mentoring programs since 1976. And we've provided community service and restitution since 1982. Over the last few years, we've been enhancing those programs to meet the needs of a higher risk population and older kids. We also provide skill building based counseling and violence prevention via anger management classes. Now, over the last 2 years, we've made a major push with some new funding and a wing and a prayer, so that we're now providing substance use prevention and treatment for our kids using Botvin life skills. and Prime for Life prevention and Prime Solution for treatment curriculum.
Are you helping parents in any way?
We do work with the family some in our family counseling, but we're very thankful for the partners we have in the community. For instance, right now we have an intensive mentor working with a kid in a family of substance abuse, and another agency, the Parenting Path, is actually providing parent support. So we're working as a team in that home.
Right. Now, how is your agency funded?
Currently, we've been blessed with several new funding streams. So our main funding streams are the Federal Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention. We're starting some new funding with the North Carolina Department of Public Safety, and of course our local juvenile crime prevention councils.
Right.
Several small foundation grants, as well as fundraising and donations.
It's such a major problem that y'all are describing, and I'm so glad you're getting those funding sources. Speaking of which, how important is the funding from United Fund of Surrey?
It's imperative. We could not do what we're doing without the United Fund. It is one of the only unrestricted funding sources that I can say most of us nonprofits have. A lot of our grants have very tight rules and regulations, and the United Fund comes in to actually cover all the corners that can't be covered. So our current mentoring, skill building, these just would not be possible.
Absolutely. We have just a few seconds left, Tammy. If somebody could be watching and say, well, my kid doesn't have a problem with drugs, how do you benefit everybody? I mean, even if the family isn't in crisis, how's what you do helping the community?
What we do is plant seeds to give these kids coping skills, resilience, abilities to form healthy relationships, communicate effectively, do all the things that they need to do to be successful. That benefits them and everybody around them.
Absolutely, now and in the future.
Now and in the future.
All right, up on screen, here's a Facebook. I want you to see Facebook, and I think, correct me if I'm wrong, .com/Surrey Stokes Friends of Youth, or you can call 336-789-9064, or email Tamara@sfoy.org, and the general website for United Fund of Surrey is up on screen, unitedfundofsurrey.org. Ladies, thanks for all you do and for helping. It's a major problem, and you're giving it major benefit and attention. I can't tell you how much that means to everybody. Thanks, Ron.
Thank you.
We'll be right back after this.
Are you looking to jumpstart your future in the fast-paced, rapidly growing food industry? In Second Harvest Food Bank's Providence Culinary Training Program, you'll learn the craft and art of cooking, plus business and management skills, science and nutrition, and essential life skills. Providence Culinary Training has helped hundreds of individuals just like you launch successful culinary careers. There's no reason to wait to turn your passion for food into an exciting career. Check out the upcoming class schedule on our website at providencews.org.
Hi, I'm Jim Longworth, reminding you to catch my column Longworth at Large and Yes Weekly every week. It's available throughout the Triad, or you can go online, yesweekly.com. Back now on this special edition of Triad Today, as we salute the good work of United Fund of Surrey, who helps support so many great agencies and programs and services throughout the area. And on the next few minutes, we want to sort of focus on parks and recreation and activities, especially this time of year, and we do that with two very special guests. Peter Raymer, Director of Mount Airy Parks and Recreation. Darren Lewis is Assistant City Manager. Good to see you all.
Yes, sir. Good to see you.
Peter, let's start out. Darren and I've talked before, you and I haven't. Give us an overview of the Parks and Recs in Mount Airy, and what kind of programs and facilities do you offer in general?
Okay, Mount Airy Parks and Recreation Department is a comprehensive Parks and Recreation Department. We have 7 unique park facilities and an 8-mile continuous stretch of greenway known as the Granite City Greenway.
Wow. And then what about summer camps? Didn't somebody email me one time and said that you guys have a pretty good summer camp program?
Yes, we have several program areas. We have aquatics, athletics, family services, health and wellness, recreational programs, and right now we're in the middle of summer camp programming. We have 2 summer camp day camps. We have a variety of athletic summer camps as well. Notably, through the RCC Foundation, we have secured grant funding through the Department of Instruction to offer the Summer Adventure and Education Camp for rising 6th through 9th graders.
I think that's great. I want to circle back to that in a second, but I'm looking at Darren and thinking now, in your official capacity, and you're always aware of things we talk about on this show too, with problems that some young people have that they're having to work through. I guess as someone in your position, it's important for kids to have access to these kinds of activities, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. In my past career, I worked in recreation for over 30 years as the Parks and Recreation Director at Reeves Community Center in Mount Airy Parks and Recreation. And it is vital, the services that recreation provides to children in our community, especially to the underserved community.
Absolutely. And Peter, I said I was going to circle back. Let's talk about swimming, since it's sort of a seasonal thing. Why is it so important for kids to learn swimming? What kind of swimming programs are you offering, and what kind of tips can you give to parents and kids?
We offer swim lessons year-round. Mount Airy Parks and Recreation Department, Reeves Community Center Foundation feel that swimming is a vital life skill that everyone should have the opportunity to learn.
Right. And parents, of course, you're always letting them know about safety and that type of thing, and I think that's great. But now, when we talk about all these great things that you and Darren offer in Mount Airy, do parents, do they ever ask you, say, hey, do I need to pay a fee for swim lessons? Do I need to pay a fee to go use a facility? Or do I need to pay a fee to go to a park? What about that?
Mount Airy Parks and Recreation does charge a fee to offset the cost of the program, but we want to make sure that finances is not a barrier for anyone. So the Reeves Community Center Foundation is willing to help out anyone with financial assistance if there is a need. Kind of I guess, I don't know if I should use this term, but kind of a scholarship type thing, right? Absolutely. And just so we can be clear about it, the foundation is separate from some other entities, and that brings me back to Darren to United Fund of Surrey, which was sort of this overarching theme that we talk about. And I want to ask you how important it is. I mean, because you see things from a fiscal standpoint too. How important is support from United Fund of Surrey to keep things going like what Peter's been talking about?
Well, the United Fund of Surrey actually funds the Reeves Community Center Foundation, which in partnership with Mount Airy Parks and Recreation to eliminate any barriers that any children in our community may have. So that is that's what is paramount for us to be able to provide all of these services to children, regardless of any financial challenges they may have at home.
Now, of course, in your current role, Darren, you talk about what you used to do with Parks and Rec, and Peter's still active in that. Very quickly, we have a couple seconds left. What do you get out of doing the kind of things you do? What gratification?
Just making a positive impact and a difference in the lives of our community.
Was that same for you when you were active with Parks and Rec?
100%. Making a difference with the foundation and the United Fund is the most important in my life.
Well, I agree, and you guys do a great job. Up on the screen for general information, and I think this is correct. You can correct me if I'm wrong. MountAiry.org, is that still an active website?
That is correct.
And then in general, I want you to circle back to UnitedFundOfSurrey.org in case this is somebody from a business is watching or listening, or an individual wants to make a donation. Peter and Darren, thanks for all you do, gentlemen. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
Every cookie sold in the Girl Scout Cookie Program helps girls learn lifelong lessons in people skills, decision making, money management, goal setting, and business ethics. It's amazing how much you can learn from a cookie. The Girl Scout Cookie Program. Think outside the box.
Back now on this special edition of Triad Today, as we salute and recognize the great folks who do so much good work in the area, in part because of support from United Fund of Surrey. And one organization that benefits from United Fund of Surrey, the Boy Scouts. We're going to talk about that right now, two very special guests. Drew Armstrong is CEO of Boy Scouts of America Old Hickory Council, and he's with David Gilbert. And David is Chief Operating Officer and Director of Field Services. Good to see you, gentlemen.
Good morning. Thank you. Good to be here.
Both former Scouts, you told me, off camera. And that was a good experience for both of you, wasn't it?
Excellent experience.
And we didn't rehearse this, but in what way was it a good experience for you?
I had the opportunity to do activities, participate in events that most kids would only dream of. Hiking at 16,000 feet, an elevation at Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico, or canoeing down the Yadkin River. Many kids just don't have these opportunities.
Absolutely. What about you, David?
I grew up in a single-parent household. My father passed away before I was born, and so scouting gave me a lot of adult role models, both male and female, that have very much guided who I became in my adult life.
I appreciate y'all telling me that, and I understand what you're saying. Now, let me circle back to you, Drew. Let's remind people what the mission of Boy Scouts is.
Well, the textbook mission of the Boy Scouts is to prepare young people to make ethical and moral choices over their lifetimes by instilling in them the values of the Scout Oath and Law. However, loosely translated, that means that we allow kids to have fun in an outdoor environment and just enjoy themselves and be kids.
And now what areas do you serve, and how many scouts roughly? I mean, you may not know to the individual to the exact count, but give me an idea. How many scouts are under your tutelage, and what areas do you serve?
So here in the Old Hickory Council, we have roughly 3,000 scouts, maybe a little less, but right around 3,000 scouts that participate in our program. Our service area covers basically the northwest half of North Carolina, Winston-Salem to Boone.
All right.
And the counties they're in.
Now, David, what kind of activities and programs do you offer in general?
Well, I don't think we have time to cover that in 5 minutes.
Right.
But one of the beautiful things about scouting is that we get to do hiking, biking, fishing, canoeing, camping, campfires, cooking, catching turtles, pinewood derby, rain gutter regattas. And kids get the opportunity to experience a lot of different things within our program.
And all age appropriate, too.
100%. Our program's developed so kids of every age level grow with our program.
Let me ask a stupid question. One of you guys sent me an email one day that said something about DEI. What is that? What is DEI?
DEI is diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Okay.
Which is the fancy way of saying that everybody deserves an opportunity to be a part of the program. So think of diversity like being invited to a party, and inclusion like being asked to dance at the party.
Right.
So over the last handful of years, Scouting has allowed more kids to join our program. Boys and girls, the entire family, get to learn our values. They get to go on our adventures, make those memories with their families.
Are the girls assimilating pretty well with the program and this diversity program, Drew?
I think so. We have roughly 15% of our membership is female at this point in time. A lot of these females are siblings of male scouts that have seen their brothers have a great time in the program and have wanted to join along.
Yeah. Now, Raven's Knob, I went there as a kid, so remind folks what that's all about.
Raven Knob's about 3,000 acres up just outside of Mount Airy. Kids go up there for a full week of camp, and they'll get to do aquatic activities such as snorkeling, swimming, life-saving, stand-up paddleboarding. They'll get to do nature activities, learn about ecology, geology, scout craft skills, so basketry, wood carving.
Yeah, you're right. We could probably do an hour on these, but before time runs out very quickly, and you've already partially answered this, Drew, but how is all this that you do and you offer Boy Scouts beneficial to the boys, not just now, but later?
Well, if you think about it, the soft skills that kids learn in Boy Scouts, not only the soft skills, but the hard skills being the camping and building a fire and tying knots and so forth, but the soft skills are things such as interview techniques. Very rarely would a kid at the age of 14 or 15 have the opportunity to sit down and do a board review before a panel of adult professionals and tell them about himself and about his future career path or about projects that he's completed. So those are skills that even at 14, they're learning, but that will translate throughout the rest of their life.
Absolutely. I want to put this up on screen. OldHickoryCouncil.org is the website, OldHickoryCouncil.org. Please check that out. And guys, I appreciate all you do to help the young people. You're doing a great job. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
And as we close out this half hour, this special half hour, as a salute to United Fund of Surrey, I want to thank Melissa Hyatt and her team for helping us put this together. And up on screen, once again, UnitedFundOfSurrey.org you can go to find out more about the organization, how you can make a donation. For all of us here at Triad Today, I'm Jim Longworth. We'll see you next week.